Amazon Leo. Amazon Leo, formerly known as Project Kuiper LLC, is a subsidiary of Amazon.com, Incorporated, doing business as Amazon, established in 2019 to deploy a large satellite internet constellation providing low-latency broadband connectivity. The project's original codename was inspired by the Kuiper Belt. The service was rebranded as Amazon Leo in November 2025. In July 2020, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, authorized Amazon to deploy 3,236 satellites into low Earth orbit, LEO. Deployment is planned in 5 phases, with service expected to begin after the first 578 satellites reach orbit. Under the terms of its license, Amazon must launch and operate half of the constellation by July 30, 2026, and the remainder by July 30, 2029. To support the constellation, Amazon has purchased 92 rocket launches from United Launch Alliance, ULA, ArianeGroup, formerly Airbus Safran Launchers, and Blue Origin Enterprises, Limited Partnership, LP. The latter founded by Amazon Executive Chairman, former President and CEO of Amazon, Jeff Preston Bezos, for a total cost exceeding $10 billion. In 2023, it also purchased 3 launches from SpaceX, operator of the competing Starlink network. In April 2019, Amazon officials announced that they would fund and deploy Project Kuiper, a large satellite constellation, to provide broadband internet service. Officials said the project would offer broadband service through partnerships with other companies, including to tens of millions of people who lack basic access to broadband internet, although it remains unclear whether service will be offered directly to consumers. The president of Kuiper Systems, Rajeev Badial, was a former vice president of SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet constellation. Fired by Elon Musk in 2018, Badial soon afterwards started Kuiper Systems along with other ex-SpaceX employees. In December 2019, it was reported that Amazon was asking the FCC to waive requirements, for example, to have applied by 2016, that SpaceX and OneWeb had to follow in order to get their large satellite internet constellations licensed. In July 2020, Amazon received FCC authorization to orbit a constellation of 3,236 satellites, provided, among other conditions, that they not interfere with previously authorized satellite ventures. Company officials said they would spend $10 billion on the effort. It was expected to take up to a decade to fully deploy all 3,236 planned satellites. In December 2020, Amazon unveiled a low-cost flat-panel user terminal antenna for the Project Kuiper system. It is a Ka-band phased array antenna that is much smaller than traditional designs for antennas that operate at 1730 GHz. The antenna will be 30 cm, 12 inches, in width and is expected to support up to 400 megabits per second of data bandwidth at less than 20% of the cost of traditional state-of-the-art flat-panel antennas. Amazon also announced that they intend to be launch agnostic, and would not plan to exclusively use launch capacity from Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company, but rather were open to launch capability offers from all providers. In April 2021, Amazon announced that it had contracted with ULA for 9 launches of Kuiper satellites on Atlas V, 551 version. Launch vehicles from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, CCSFS, in Florida, and noted that it will continue to explore all options for launching the remainder of the satellites. In April 2022, Amazon announced contracts with 3 launch providers for 83 launches over the next decade. They include 18 launches of the European Ariane 6, 64L version, 12 launches of Blue Origin's New Glenn, with options for 15 additional flights, and 38 launches on the Vulcan Centaur, VC-6L version. Launch vehicle from United Launch Alliance. In August 2023, a lawsuit was filed by an Amazon shareholder, Cleveland Bakers and Teamsters Pension Fund, against the company claiming the Amazon board of directors acted in bad faith when procuring the approximately $10 billion in launch contracts for the constellation, which amounted to Amazon's second-largest capital expenditure to date. Contracts to Blue Origin, owned by Bezos, amounted to 45% of the total expenditure. The suit suggests that animosity between Bezos and SpaceX founder Elon Musk may have precluded Amazon from contracting SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5 partially reusable, human-rated, two-stage to-orbit, medium-lift launch vehicle, which is flight-proven and potentially more cost-effective. Two initial prototype satellites, KuiperSat-1 and KuiperSat-2, launched on October 6, 2023, on an Atlas V 501 version, rocket operated by United Launch Alliance from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The mission was deemed a success and both satellites were deorbited. In December 2023, it was announced that Amazon had secured 3 Kuiper launches aboard SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5. These flew in July, August and October 2025, carrying 24 satellites each. The Vulcan Centaur rocket launched for the first time on January 8, 2024, clearing the way for the future ordered launches of Kuiper Systems satellites. Vulcan will launch 38 times for Kuiper. Ariane 6 made its maiden flight on July 9, 2024. Ariane 6 is responsible for 18 Kuiper launches. The first 27 production satellites were launched on April 28, 2025, aboard an Atlas V rocket. The company said that it had successfully established communications with all of the satellites. Rudimentary service is slated to begin for consumers in late 2025. Amazon LEO has launched 2 prototype satellites and 180 production satellites to date as of December 2025. Amazon LEO's satellite constellation is planned to consist of 3,236 satellites operating in 98 orbital planes in 3 orbital shells, one each at 590 kilometers, 370 miles, 610 kilometers, 380 miles, and 630 kilometers, 390 miles, orbital altitude. The satellites are equipped with Hall Effect Thruster, HET, sometimes referred to as a Hall Thruster or Hall Current Thruster. Phase 1 of deployment will be 578 satellites at 630 km altitude and an orbital inclination of 51.9 degrees. A total of 5 phases of constellation development are planned. Amazon LEO is planned to work in concert with Amazon's previously announced large network of 12 satellite ground station facilities, the Amazon Web Services, AWS, ground station unit, announced in November 2018. In addition to connecting to ground stations to connect to the ground-based internet, satellites will interconnect via optical infrared laser connections. Amazon refers to this technology as OISL, Optical Inter-Satellite Link. These lasers are capable of maintaining 100 gigabits per second over distances up to 2,600 kilometers, 1,616 miles, among 2 satellites moving at 25,000 kilometers per hour. 15,534 miles per hour. Current in-space tests have demonstrated this speed up to a distance of 1,000 kilometers, 621 miles. 3 customer terminal designs are planned for different market needs. Amazon LEO's standard customer terminal is expected to measure less than 28 centimeters, 11 inches, square and 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch, thick, and weigh less than 2.3 kilograms, 5 pounds, without its mounting bracket. The device is planned to deliver speeds up to 400 megabits per second. Amazon expects to produce these terminals for less than $400 each. An ultra-compact design 18 centimeters, 7 inches, square customer terminal weighing 0.45 kilogram, 1 pound, will offer speeds up to 100 megabits per second. This design will connect residential customers for lower costs, as well as government and enterprise customers pursuing applications like ground mobility and Internet of Things. A high-bandwidth design 48 centimeters, 19 inches, by 76 centimeters, 30 inches, terminal will deliver speeds up to 1 gigabit per second. Organizational headquarters for Amazon LEO are located at an Amazon R&D, Research and Development, facility in Redmond, Washington since 2020. Development of satellite prototypes and production methods were initially performed at the Redmond site. Manufacturing and satellite production is located at 16,000 square meters, 172,000 square feet, facility in nearby Kirkland, Washington. The factory in Kirkland opened in April 2024 and is planned to manufacture 5 satellites per day at peak capacity. A logistics center in Everett, Washington, is expected to open in June 2024 to supply the Kirkland factory with kits assembled from raw materials. Amazon owns a satellite processing and integration facility in Florida at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, KSC, to integrate spacecraft for launch aboard United Launch Alliance, SpaceX, and Blue Origin rockets from the spaceport.